What's up guys, this is Weasel for PokerWeasel.com. We're going to be playing some 25NL live Zoom action on Pokerstars. Without further ado, let's get started. Pocket aces on the table 2 there. It's always a good start. So we're just going to 3-bet pre. This guy looks like a reg so far. He's folding a reasonable amount of 3-bets. You can see 62% fold over 1k hands. Still, the best play is going to be to 3-bet, just hope he has something, or maybe player in big blind feels like cold 4-betting or something, which he does. Actually, this is a good start. This guy hasn't 4-bet so far. I don't have a lot of hands on him anyway. We're just going to ship over the top. It's definitely one of the most standard things to do. Can of course flat, but we're not folding at any point. So we're running it twice by the looks of things. We fade the first one, and unfortunately he catches the queen. Actually makes quads. So that's unfortunate, but okay, we get the money in good, that's fine. So this guy decides to limp. I think we'll just let this one go. Don't have to ISO Jack 8. Can of course limp behind. Probably slightly better to have a 10-9 offsuit or something, or a Jack 9 offsuit. King Queen. This is certainly a candidate for a squeeze. We'll go ahead and squeeze it up here. King 3, we'll just fold in the small blind. Guy in the middle looks very, very tight here. I don't know whether that means he's going to be not folding to 3-bets or will be folding more often to 3-bets. We just don't know, so we can't base any decision on that. I'm just going to start with a check. And if he checks back, we're just going to try and basically 2-barrel him off any pocket pair that he has. Because right now it looks very much like he has 8s, 10s, jacks. Of course, we don't know 100% that he's definitely going to fold that, but we have to at least try and push him off those kind of holdings. It's going to be correct to bluff here, definitely. And he does fold. I'm guessing he has 10s or something. It would make sense for a very tight player to call pre-flop and then call against a large squeeze. He might be inclined to even fold some of his weaker ace-x holdings in that spot, so most likely he had a pocket pair. Of course, that does not guarantee he's going to fold, but generally should 2-barrel bluff in that spot. King 10, we'll just play with a check back here. A Queen Jack on table 1, well, we'll definitely delay c-bet the King 10, let's start there. And this looks like a very good hand to check defend in this spot. If we actually make it straight on table 2, we're going to be value betting. Slightly on the large side. This guy does have a pink tag, which means he's not the best player in the world. As you watch, you'll see that I check very often when I'm OOP as the PFR, and I focus a lot on making sure my checking range is defended. I don't c-bet too much. I think that's one of the big mistakes many players are making currently, is they're just c-betting way too much OOP. So I think just check call again. I don't think we have to check raise in this spot. And river, I think for the most part it's just going to be a check call on the river unless he does something strange with his bet sizing, like over bets or something. Here we're just going to complete with a 6-4. This guy doesn't have the full stack, so probably a weaker player. We'd like to get involved in these situations. I'm going to be leading the flop here, OOP. This is an automatic profit spot, according to the analysis that I've run. I think on the turn, when we pick up a pair, and obviously the 4 straights out there, but I think I'm just going to make a very small protection bet. I do think this guy could potentially have just 2 overcards based on the categorization I've assigned him. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much what he must have had. He just doesn't want to let go of her. Oh, he has a pair. Okay. Queen King, definitely an open raise. And again, we could think about check defending here. I'm going to bet because there's some draws out there. See what the turn card is. See if your pair is vulnerable, you want to tend towards c-betting. This guy just makes a 6x open. I'll give him a color tag for now. We're going to fold against that. Now this is a great spot to go for a check defend. So we're funneling some hands into our turn check defending range. Best types of hands for that are pair plus draw type holding, so this is a perfect candidate for that. So it's a bluff catcher, but even if it's behind, it's got a little bit of extra boost in the sense that it might make straight by the river, so very good hand for the check call. Now notice that he did bet very small on the turn, so it's not impossible that we actually just have the best hand at this stage still, so let's just look carefully at his sizing. I'd say this is kind of tricky just because, you know, if he has 2 pair, why would he bet 1/3? I think I'm probably just going to call. Not super excited about it, but okay, so he underbets turn with a set. But it's possible that he's even value betting worse queens. I don't think he has too many, of course, because of the pre-flop action. Anyway, that's fine. This is going to be a defend against a 3x on table 1. We pick up a pair, so we're probably not going to be folding the flop. Table 2 big blind is very, very tight so far, so we'll try and get a steal through. I think definitely have to check call with the 6-8 here. And we're going to steal. Now, when we make trips on a double paired or double flush draw board texture, it's probably going to be a good idea just to donk bet. And hope to get 2 streets of value. You don't really want it to get checked through there. Could try and check raise, although, I mean, I'm sure it's an okay option. I think I'd prefer to just not risk giving the free card, though. I think leading is going to be the best option there. And it's also possible to lead some flush draws, etc. when the second card of the board pairs like that. So this guy has an orange tag so far. His stats don't really seem to match up with that. I think I'm going to reclassify this guy as a reg. I think I will actually play here. There's a pink tag in the big blind, and small blind's a nit, so he's not going to be giving me trouble. This guy's likely a weaker player based on stack size. Let's see. This guy doesn't actually c-bet very much, OOP. Only 44%. So far he hasn't folded to turn float bets. 0 or 4. I think I'll just let this one go. I mean, we do have some backdoor equity going on. Here we call a min ISO, big blind versus small blind. We pick up a pair. I think I'm probably going to have to call 1 here. And the reason is, I think if I hit 6 or 3, I'm good to play for stacks against this guy. I'm guessing, just based on the categorization, that will be profitable. We also have some other backdoor equity as well. We might occasionally see some free rivers. Queen doesn't help us, so we'll just let this one go. So 5 deuce we're going to fold against possible reg. This guy limps, so we'll give him a pink tag. Orange are tighter players. He folds. We're just going to check back. We get to see a free flop against a pink tag. That's fine. Queen jack's an open. We're going to lead here with our gutter. Might pick it up immediately. This guy 3-bets us. This guy basically has been running 1 or 2 bluffs historically based on the categorization there. So he's capable of bluffing, essentially. Queen jack, relatively standard button defend. And not going to be folding this flop. And I don't really see how we can fold the turn either. This could be an interesting river spot against a guy who has a history of being able to run some big bluffs. Yeah, I'm actually going to bluff catch here. I wouldn't normally do this, but there's a number of busted draws and just the read we have. Okay. So normally you would fold that hand playing 25 and L, facing a 3-barrel. And, you know, it worked out that time. I guess it kind of looks pretty stupid if I call and he just has aces, which is definitely going to happen some percentage of the time for sure. That guy has a bit of unique tag. He specifically has a forced aggression tag, which is for guys who are basically trying to turn hands into bluffs, which they don't really have any business being bluffs. I don't give that to too many players, actually. In fact, we'll go and have a quick look at that hand. Let me just play current holdings. So ace-5. We decide to call. This guy's pretty tight so far. Not a big sample, but we'll give him the nit tag for now. And he checks back, so standard line here is going to be definitely to bet the turn. River, it really depends. It might be a check, it might be a bet. Depends on the card. I think I'm just going to check give up on this card. Who knows, we might have some small measure of showdown value. Yep. So basically, what you can see on the screen in the replay is you can see the green tag here. That's my weak reg tag. Then I have a cyan tag, which is for people who are very aggressive pre-flop, they 3-bet a lot, etc. Now this is not that cyan tag. This is actually a cross between my cyan tag and my weak reg tag. And you probably won't be able to tell unless there's a cyan tag to compare directly to it. Which I don't think there is. Can't see any. Anyway, it's not exactly the same. Is this also... Yeah, this is also the forced aggression tag. So it is actually a slightly different shade of cyan, just different enough where I can recognize it, specifically for guys who are not only aggressive pre-flop, but they force aggression post-flop. So example of forced aggression is exactly the type of hand he had, which is 9 deuce. Does he want to be triple barrel bluffing this hand? I don't think so. He's basically trying to make a bluff out of a hand that shouldn't be used as a bluff. So when you think about this kind of border and out, you know, he's going to have diamond draws he can bluff with, heart draws. Depending on his 3-bet range, he may have some gut shots, some OASDs, all of which are going to be pretty decent turn bluffs. He doesn't need to take something like 9 deuce of spades, nor should he be 3-betting this hand pre-flop. Now, I only actually have, I think it was like 50 hands on the guy. I don't have any stats to indicate he's bluffing the river a lot. But in most cases, a colored tag, especially a very specific tag, like my forced aggression tag, it's just a very, very good read. You don't need a big sample size of hands to see someone turn a hand into a bluff that they shouldn't really be bluffing with. It's a leak that I'll refer to as forced aggression. I've seen this guy do it before over the 50 hands I've seen against him, and that's a strong enough read where I don't really want to fold a hand like this, especially on a texture where there's a number of busted draws. You know, even if he is bluffing with a legitimate hand, he's got diamonds, he's got hearts, he's got straight draws, all of which brick on a 3-river. And secondly, just in terms of theory, not really supposed to fold top pair in 3-bet pots, but I don't want you to get the wrong idea from this hand. If you're playing low limit games, this is normally cool flop, cool turn, fold, river. The reason why players are not bluffing the river enough. Even on this run out, it's really questionable whether they're going to be showing up with enough bluffs on the river. So very often we're just going to run into their value range, and that's going to happen at high enough frequency where we're not incentivized to bluff cats. So don't go around doing this in general. And, you know, even against a guy with forced aggression tag, there's a little bit of a crying call. I'm not super excited about it. I know he can certainly have ace-queen, certainly have kings, aces, pocket queens. That's about it, though. I don't know if he's going to be value betting king-queen, but, you know, he does seem a bit volatile. Maybe he can show up with king-queen from time to time in triple barrel. I don't think so, though. I think it's ace-queen plus, and this guy can definitely be bluffing somewhere around the point where we're incentivized to bluff catch. And just to be clear, that doesn't even necessarily imply that it's likely we win after we call a river. So for example, he might be bluffing 40% of the time, which is very high for river bluffing frequency. We definitely have a call, according to our river pot odds, but we're still going to lose 60% of the time when we make the call. So the hand has that type of feel to it where we make the call, still kind of expecting to lose with a pretty high frequency. So don't take this hand for something other than what it is. It's a bluff catch, and hopefully it's going to be noticeably profitable, or at the very least slightly profitable, but mostly due to a read, not due to this being the right play against the population at 25. Alright, back to the action. 6-8 is right on the cusp from MP. I think, given the min-raise sizing, given that cutoffs are fish, buttons are nit, small blind is a weaker player as well. He's probably even a pink tag. He's open limp before. So this is definitely going to be an open on this table. We get called by the big blind. He's the only guy we don't have any kind of handle on, really. He's shaping up to be a reg. He's from Russia as well, so I'm going to assume he's a reg. This hand is going to be a 2-barrel, but it does depend on the turn card. If we get check raise, we'll just fold. This is a perfectly acceptable turn card for a 2-barrel. There's plenty of draws Villain can have. He can have some floats in there as well. If he has a queen, we have 5 outs at least. He can have that hand, by the way. He can also have something like 10s, and we have 5 outs against that. Here with the a6, we open raise. The backdoor potential is not really good enough on a queen 9-3. Somewhat good texture for the caller, and we're just going to give up and fold. This guy hasn't really been folding a lot to 3-bets, and he's been 4-betting relatively aggro. So I'm actually just going to cold call in the small blind. Big blind doesn't seem that active so far. We only have 18 hands though. Normally this would be a 3-bet, but based on the stats, this guy looks like an okay reg. He's probably... I'll give him the benefit of the doubt just because he's winning so far, but that doesn't mean much over 5-5 deuce, 5-5-2 even hands. Turn play, this is going to be a check defend, or it's going to be an underbet probe. I'm actually going to go for a check call. He doesn't seem to delete c-bet though, actually. Well, 2 of 3 in position. It's mainly OOP, he doesn't delete c-bet, 0 of 2. And we're just going to check, and basically, if you ever get to the river like this and you have a pair, you probably should try and avoid folding. Usually, river 1 bets, as I call them, are going to be a bluff with a high enough frequency where you don't want to fold a pair usually. 100 effective here with kings. We just want to try and get the stacks in pre if we can. King 9, I don't open this from UTG. This guy's a fish, this guy's a winning reg in the cutoff. So, yeah. This guy, I've given him a pink tag, but you can see he's very, very nitty. Well, maybe you can't see, maybe you can't read my HUD, but he's doing some pre-flop open limping, but his stats are VPIP 16, PFR 5, so it's very, very tight. So maybe I should reclassify that guy as a nit. King 7, not going to be a defend against an MP3X. So min raise button with King 9. Again, a pink tag. I'm just going to try and play hands against guys with a pink tag. So I'm just going to complete the Queen 4. He ISOs. He's also kind of tight, so I'll just let him have that one. This guy gets a pink tag. He's just open limped. ISO here from a guy who only has 40 bigs. Just going to put in a re-raise here. I think I will actually go kind of big just because the original limp is a bit deep. I don't want my post-flop commitment decisions to be too difficult just in case he tags along. I'd rather try and lower the SPR. Yeah, he does tag along. Hopefully this guy re-raises. That's very good for us. I mean, this is really, really exactly what we could have hoped for. If this guy has aces, it doesn't matter. 40 big blinds, and the original limp probably doesn't have aces. It's not impossible, but it's a huge slow play if he does. So we should be relatively happy with this. Three is an ace-5. Wow, there's the 3. Pretty sick. There's the king. Oh my goodness. Wow, some serious drama today. Whew. Okay, table 2. We go for c-bet here. This guy's folded 2 of 3. No, actually it's not 2 of 3. It's 6 of 9. So he's just folding too much to c-bet. So pretty straightforward c-bet. Now he doesn't appear to be folding the turn, but we have picked up equity. Yeah, I feel like the best play is very clearly to 3-barrel. I think I'll just have to follow through with that. So I'll kind of not go too big on the turn. Plan is to basically follow up on the river. I can't not follow through just based on he didn't fold turn once, he didn't fold river once. Obviously we have the double gutter there, and we have an excellent river bluffing hand, so we should just follow that through. Again, another guy who's not really folding to 3-bets. Button is 1 of 4 so far. Overall, fold 36. So we're just going to defend by calling here. This guy's kind of tight, but he can't be a great player based on his stack size. So we're just going to fold anyway. I don't want to defend 6-3 there. This guy... Okay, so he underbets. I wonder if that's what he's doing a lot of the time. No, he varies his sizing. Sometimes he bets large, sometimes he underbets, so he's not one of those guys just mashing the 1/3 pot button. I feel like we have to float here. He doesn't barrel the turn that much, 43% so far. Queen 8, I'll just give this up in the face of a relatively aggro big blind. Feel that it's not going to be that profitable. Versus River Probe, fold 2 of 2 so far, so almost guaranteed to be profitable in the long run, I would say. Yep. This is probably an overcall, and this guy probably not great based on his stack size. It's pretty marginal, I'd say. Opinions on this kind of spot vary quite widely. Some people say it's a fist pump call. I'm not really so convinced. I think it is a call. Not that excited about having Queen 4, honestly. This guy did lead 3-way. I think I'm just going to look to realize some equity here. This is a very interesting spot. I think we just have to bluff. I feel like he has a bluff catcher almost definitely. Whether he'll call with it, I don't know. But I think it's just incorrect not to bluff, I would imagine. I don't have a great feeling about the spot, but I think we have to, yeah, exactly what I think he has. But you see, even when he has something like 9s, that doesn't guarantee we shouldn't bluff, right? I mean, it's actually a very, very questionable call even with 9s in that spot. So I feel like you have to bluff, like even if he says, okay, I have trip 9s, probably should still pull the trigger on the bluff anyway. We just don't know whether he's actually going to be able to make the laydown there. I mean, it's certainly a very good bluff catcher, if he thinks I'm bluffing at the right frequency. I mean, and who knows, possibly even beat some of my value range, so I'm not necessarily saying he's made a bad call there. But obviously, as the bluffer, we hope that he can fold that hand, given that there's a 4 straight out there and a flush that's completed. It's good for us if he can fold. It makes that bluff very profitable. Kings, obviously okay with that. This guy's a nit in big blind, so if he 3-bets, we actually just call against his 3-bet. There's no need to just 4-bet and stack off. We'll bet here, definitely. He doesn't raise a lot of flops. 7.4 so far. Not a good turn card. So either check back or just underbet and then give up. Really not a good card for us. Obvious reasons, hopefully. And just check back now. We're not going to try and get 3 streets here. Yeah, fine. Again, weaker player here, so we'll just play the complete line. He doesn't seem super out of line, though. He seems like a weak player, but, you know, he's actually somewhat tight pre. He's playing 20-14 over 140 hands. Flop the top pair, we lead, pick it up, that's fine. He's probably folding some equity. 7-4 is going to be a fold UGG, Ace-8 might be playable. Nit in the cutoff, I think I'll just fold if he opens. 4s, I folded the 4s already, really depends who's at the table, I actually just fold it a lot of the time. This guy's probably a fish. Anyway, I'm just going to fold. 5s or 6s plus is fine in that spot. This guy, just check that fold to 4-bet. It's 3 of 4. I'm going to let this one go. But it's a possible target in the future. Let's just check his country as well. Yeah, so this is one of the cyan tags. You see, look, there's my over aggro 3-bet tag, and here's my forced aggression tag. Very similar, but one of them's got slightly more of a green pigment in it. I'll let him take that one for now. I mean, definitely reasonable to 4-bet. It's obviously not a great hand to have when called, though. Ace-8 offsuit. It's got some pre-flop blocker effects, which are somewhat useful. So, possibly a 4-bet. We'll just let that one go. This guy just pot donks it in a spot where we didn't really connect in any meaningful way. So, we'll just fold that one. This guy appears to have... That looks to me like Nananoko in that picture, but I could be wrong. Might be someone completely different. I'm guessing it's not him, since he's from Australia, but you never know. Pocket pair is usually going to be a defend. 10-9 will open. Interesting. I think this is yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a flow bet spot here. Don't need to make it super big. It's generally unlikely we get check raised. It's interesting. He's kind of repping mostly stuff like 10 through queens with the diamond. That would be the hands that make the most sense this way. Occasionally maybe like ace queen with queen of diamonds, stuff like that. I think ace of diamonds probably bets. Sometimes people do play stuff like king queen no diamond really badly here and check call, which is a terrible line. It's kind of weird. I mean, would he value bet queens this way? Possibly. Would he bluff? Generally unlikely for the 1/3 sizing. I think we'll just fold there. I'm guessing he's value betting queens or something. Or, you know, if he did play the king queen really badly, now he's just going for his value bet after he managed to fade all of the diamonds. So you open raise twos. I think that's mostly going to be a check fold on this texture. We'll just open the chest for you guys. A bit of extra entertainment. Okay, it's disappeared. No, no, no. There we go. Alright. Wasn't that good. Ace King. Probably want to play that. It's probably more important than opening the chest. Jack 9. Definitely an open from MP. King 10. Yeah, that's going to be a small blind open as well. This guy 3 bets. Again, I'm probably just going to fold. Relatively good price on the call. Actually, we're a little bit deep. This might be a marginal call. I think we're going to make the call actually due to the stack depth. I mean, Jack 10, 10-9 definitely calls, 8-9 definitely a call with the extra stack depth there, and should be mixed into calling range 100 big blind effective. I think Jack 9 might get pushed into the calling range at 180 effective. Gonna call against a 1/3 bet with top pair, and we can even, you know, bink 2 pair and trips and stuff on the turn. That's a relatively bad turn card for us. You know, we can have some ace-x holdings, obviously. Probably going to be a give up at this stage. So we river the jacks. I'm actually going to play a check call line here, which might seem a little bit weak. But I think he'll value bet his ace-x holdings there. I think, you know, he's a reg, he can value bet stuff, and you don't have to deal with the issue of, you know, obviously he can actually river trip jacks as well. We don't have to deal with that issue of betting getting raised. Helps to defend checking range as well. You could, of course, lead, like it's completely fine, and generally if you river something good, you should just lead for value. There's 1 or 2 exceptions. I feel like that might be one of them, but it's also okay just to value bet. I'm sure it can't be that bad. You know, maybe he can't value bet kings in that spot, which maybe you should value bet kings if he assumes that I'm leading an ace-x and jack-x on the river. But then if he can't value bet those hands and, you know, he's just gonna check back, then it's better that we do the value betting ourselves. Alright, let's just check this guy's small blind, fold to 3 bet. He folded once before, so let's put in a 3 bet here. Kind of have to call at least one here with the gutter, and we actually bink. We still lose to the queen 9, and we have to be a bit careful as well due to being deep, but statistically we usually have the best hand. Just gonna put in a value bet there, which is fine. I mean, pretty lucky turn. Having said that, even if we don't bink, if he does check like that, we're going to be stabbing for similar sizing and hopefully still winning the pot even without the need to improve. Here, he doesn't seem to be folding that much. Let's just check button specifically. He's folding a bit more on the button, 54 of 13. I'm just going to put this in my calling range. This guy doesn't c-bet very much, and he folds way too much to probe bets, actually. 69% fold to turn probe, so I think the best line against this guy is pretty straightforward. He only c-bets 46% in position, kind of low, checks back, folds to turn 69, and then also folds to follow-up bet 75, 3 of 4, so best line is really clear against this guy, and we just need to execute it and hope he doesn't basically think an ace. Now it's a little bit different on the river. We don't need to fire when we specifically pick up a 7. We're just going to check. And the good thing about this is we don't lose an extra bet now if he does have an ace. But if we don't bing the 7, we're still firing anyway, just to be clear regarding that. So it kind of saved us a bet, hitting the 7 on the river. I'm not sure what's going on here. Don't know why this guy didn't bet at some point during the hand. 5s is going to be an open. So we just made a protection bet on the turn, but if you just look at how this guy played his king x, it doesn't make any sense. Just want to sit out. Oh, another 5s. Alright. Pokerstars really wants me to have pocket 5s, evidently. This guy, probably a weaker player. And he does 3-bet, and I'm not going to set mine with 80 effective. This is just going to be a pre-flop fold. So if you just have a look at his table on the left, the replayer, so what happened here, there was a limper, we completed in the small blind, and this guy just checks back in the big blind. Again, probably not a great player based on his stack size. So we make a small bet for protection, basically. Maybe it's unnecessary on King Queen 9 two-tone. Even if it's King Queen 8, it's significantly better for us. Anyway, it's a limped pot. I don't think it'd be too bad. We might even fold out some hands that beat us, like pocket 5s or something. And we can also improve to 2-pair trips on the river. We can also just get called by a 10x or jack x and be good at showdown. So I think this is still very reasonable. Anyway, just keep in mind that this guy's got a king x. So he's played it very passively. So he's flopped top pair. He's decided to check the flop. He should obviously be leading here on the flop. On the turn, if I was him, I'd even be putting in a small raise right now. I'd be making it like 4 or 5 big blinds and then checking back the river. Because obviously, we ourselves in the small blind can have worse pairs and draws, etc. So just calling is kind of passive. And then on the river, it seems really unlikely we're going to have him beat when we check. Surely we're going to fire if we have trip queen. So I feel like he should be value betting his king x there. So I think, pretty passive play there to just check back to king 4. Anyway, we knew this at the beginning of the hand, based on his stack size, and now we've given him the green tag. Alright, so I think we'll keep these videos nice and short. So this is going to be the first part. There'll be a few videos at 25z Zoom and also some of the other limits as well. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed around the action. This was Weasel for PokerWeasel.com.